what can we do about it? We talk about the past. We got a bunch of industrial parents, me included. And then we got a bunch of kids that come to awareness that parents just simply don't know what to do. Now we don't know what to do. And all this AI keeps showing up. So now you are competing the world. It's like no chance of winning. So if there's no chance of winning, just don't try to wing it. Figure out who you are, what do you like to do. But remember the keyword, individuality. At the old time, we talk about everybody's equal, everybody's different. Yeah, we talk about it, but we don't really do it. When we say everybody's different, it simply means Toyota and Honda are different, but they are all cars, right? So we're not really accepting everybody's different. We're just kind of accepting everybody's different, but in this umbrella. Nowadays, when people say everybody's different, they really mean everybody's different. So we accept all form, all shape, everything. But because the range is so wide, now you're freaking out. I don't know what to pick, right? Meanwhile, AI seems to know so much more, so why bother studying? So now let me rephrase you. If I want to compete with AI, what should I do? First step, stop competing with them. Try to use them. So how do I use them? I got to know them. How do I know AI work? AI accumulating data. You will sometimes look upset, angry, or whatever because they are data feeding to it. If someone spend 24/7 sitting in front of the AI feeding it emotional sentence, eventually your AI gonna talk emotional and make you believe it has its own emotion. So whatever data you feed to it, your AI gonna learn it. AI gonna start taking all the repetitive work. So meanwhile, you can focusing on creative work. And what is creative? Earlier, people ask us a question. I don't know what to do. I tell you to write down your fear if you don't know what to do. There are people say, hey, I overcome all my fear. I still don't know what to do. Great. Then we start designing your future. We do one step at a time. So if you understand whatever it is, soul want to eventually find out, I pick my parents, I pick my sibling, I pick everybody and all the tasks in order to overcome all the fear. So my soul can become where I want it to be, whatever it is. Now, my job as a human or non-human is simply try to figure out how can I assist the soul to become whatever that is it chooses to be. AI, no matter what form it comes, graphic, words, video, or whatever it is simply try to become assistant to me, not a competitor to me. So when your mindset starts changing what AI can do for me versus it's there to hurt me, then you will start looking for possibility like how it can assist you. Before, when you want to write a book limited by your language, nowadays it can be there to help you to make your grammar much better. Before, you have an idea to create a drawing, but you simply cannot come up with it. Nowadays, you have that to assist you. Before, you have an idea, you want to have a short video, but you don't know how to get it created. Now you also have an AI to assist you to come up with that as well. So what you were really frustrated, don't know what to do now, because we're entering the era of awareness, everybody's become more aware of who they are, what they are, and where they're going. Now, those things as the tool to help you go there. So once you change your mindset, instead of saying, oh my God, AI is here to take my job, try to change your mindset as how can you serve me? How can I make you serve me? So try to envision yourself as the supervisor in the company. Now you got all those AI try to work for you. How can you delegate work for them to do so they will serve you to get you to where you want to be? Change your mindset. You will start to realize how you start seeing possibility that you did not see before. So do understand AI's data is fed by majority of people feeding to it, but it doesn't lack of capacity of creation. So AI will give you an idea how to make a cookie. Who got to make the cookie? You. AI might give you an idea how the picture can look like, the story can go, but then who's gonna make it interesting, have a little taste of your own spice? You. Eventually, every single one of you gonna become your unique spice that nobody can copy. In my time, you do one thing and you do that thing good. Don't do anything else. Nowadays, you can do 5 things at the same time. Doing that 5 things, you become your own blend, you become your unique taste, and you become your individual that nobody can copy. Somebody can copy 1 thing, but they cannot copy the other 4 things you are good at. So that is what this society is going to become, and then more and more people is going to be like that. So you will start to realize in the society, people don't just show I'm good at 1 thing. They start to show they are multi-talented. They can do multiple tasks. They can do different things. So you will start seeing more and more evidence of it. So instead of wondering and then waiting for the answer to come to you, which a lot of people, I'm waiting for that sign to show to me, then I would do something. But then again, remember they're socially awkward, so they stay at home. So really, there's no sign to come to them in any way, right? So instead of waiting for the sign to show up to them, the very easy way is set a little goal, a goal that's achievable. Most of the time, due to social media, that you guys want to be there. The bigger the distance is, the easier you will give up because it's almost impossible. So, the quicker way is to just give up. So what I'm suggesting to do is for many of you, try to set a short-term goal that's only 3 or 5 years. And if you really want to push it, you can push it to 10 years. But I would start with 3 or 5. That is a reasonable goal. With this goal, I also suggest you to set a vision board that way you can remind yourself every day. You're able to see it, envision it. You're able to see in 3 to 5 years. A lot of people don't even make any money and then they expect themselves to be rich. Then again, let me say this. I got a lot of clients that ask me how can I be rich? Many of them don't know how much money is called rich. So set a goal that actually achievable and makes sense. Don't just constantly saying rich without even knowing how much money means rich to you. Is it possible? Is it doable within 3 to 5 years? So now you have this vision board set that is 3 to 5 years, then you start deciding if it's not for you, it's for anybody else going to achieve that future. What is the actual step they will take in order to achieve that goal? You can also write down all those things, which will make your head become more clear. What can I do now? Especially if you're very lost and you don't know what to do. That step, everything not in your head. Remember, since your mind is already so clouded, if you simply keep it in your head, you will only feel more lost. So write everything down. When it becomes very visual to you, then it will also help you plan your future. You will know, hey, instead of sitting at home, keep asking, I don't know what to do. Trust me, you can do that for years. You will still don't know what to do. But if you actually write it down and step by step, this is what one person would do in order to achieve that goal, then you will force yourself, get up in the morning, you will do that. So make it very clear. Then I would say set a basic goal to work around it. When I said set a little goal and work around it, it can be the goal of your future. It can be your sexual preference. A lot of time people say, I don't know what I want to be. Great, pick one. That doesn't mean it's going to stick with you forever. You guys are so lucky living in the era of awareness that everything is possible. So when you feel very lost and don't know what to do, the best thing to do is set a very basic parameter that you can work around it. And then later on, if you decided, no, that's not it for me, you can always change it. So instead of, well, but I don't know what to do, you can go with your belief. If you don't know what religions you should follow, pick one. Doesn't mean you have to stick with it forever your life, but you can pick one right now. Get to know that religion. Try to exercise it, practice it for a year or two. And then tell yourself, do I like it? Does it serve me well? Does it fit into the category? If it somehow, some way doesn't serve you well, there's so many other religions to choose from. So then you can always change it. Same thing as your sexual preference. Whatever you want to be, pick one, then work around it. Maybe you work for 6 months. No, I try to be a straight, but it doesn't really serve me well. It didn't quite work. So let me try that. So you didn't know until you try. Same thing as political belief. Well, give it a try. Allow your mind to be flexible to things. Because any idea, whether you agree or disagree, is basically offer you a possibility to think, are there anything else out there? So sometimes the answer may not all fall into one thing that you pick. It actually fall into every different things that I choose to learn from. Sometimes I pick one thing from this religion, a little bit things from that religion, and from that, eventually I have my own things, like those things serve me well. So you can collect whatever belief that serve you well, but don't just think about it. Try to live it and then decide if you need to alter it, change it, or do something with it. So I would say set a parameter would really help you to start having a basic ground to work with. And remember, this may not be your final answer, but it would be a good starting point. Now, this is one thing I suggest many of my clients do. Do share. At our time, people believe everything had to be perfect. So while you want to do that sharing, it doesn't matter what sharing it is. It might frighten you, scare you. You simply don't know what to do. But do share. And there's a good reason for it. Well, nowadays, everybody is perfect. Every picture is filtered. Everything is always presented to you the best way possible. People will be tired eventually. You start to see the sign happening. So when people are getting tired, guess what they are looking for? They're looking for something organic, unfiltered, and natural. So whatever imperfection that you believe in yourself right now is going to be something people want then. So while a lot of people are preparing all the perfect things, it's good for you to start slowly sharing, figuring out who you are. And do trust me, you ain't gonna figure out who you are at the beginning of sharing. You usually slowly figure out yourself after at least several hundreds of sharing. At this moment, you don't know what it is to share. Start with things that you pay the most attention to. Food, clothes, makeup, comic book, game, or whatever that is. Start sharing things that if you take personal interest in. You know, I like to spend a lot of time watching soap opera. And write a review about soap opera, or even become a critic of that particular episode. But things that you spend the most time in, do start sharing. Because what you want is one day when people are tired of perfection and then they want to come back and look for some kind of unique blend, flavor, taste, you will be it. You are that it that people are looking for. But then you don't want to start building data then. You want to start building data now. So when people are start scouting you out or checking you out, you will have enough data. And which is important is because once people start rising from the era of awareness and entering to the era of awakening, soul and soul will start creating stronger bond by understanding who you are, what you can do, and knowing where you can position yourself. So this whole sharing part is not so much for getting the social media to like me. The key thing is help you to understand who you are to begin with. It will also help people to understand who you are. And later on, when we entering the next era, understand where you can position yourself. Different from before, you will have someone to represent you. Now, enter a new era, you represent yourself. So everything that you create, everything you build is going to be your database. Couple more things. Overcoming fears. Your parent might have told you a lot of fears. It's not because they force upon you. It's because you soul have that flaws already. So that's why you have that fear. You have that fear so you can overcome it and become a stronger soul. So I know it's easier to blame on parents sometimes, but whatever that's pulling you back and then cannot make you live your life fully, try to remove them. Each fear you overcome, you work it. Don't expecting you work it and it's going to be gone. Fear take a little bit time to overcome. Give yourself 9 months by continuously challenging it. If you continue challenging it, then most likely it will get better. Usually the worst is the first 3 times. Once you pass 3, it becomes easier, still difficult, but much easier. So have the right expectation and continue to overcome it, because the more you can remove that, whether it's talking to your dad, talk to a stranger, or express yourself, express your feeling, whatever that is that you feel the whole back of you, try to overcome it. It will make your life so much easier, because in order to create happiness, one has to take control of his life. So if you want to create happiness in your life, you have to take control. If you constantly let other people take control of you, such as the country does that, that's why I'm not happy. Economy does that, that's why I cannot be happy. My parents like this, that's why I cannot happy. If you continuously giving people power to decide your life for you, then you can never create happiness. So in order to take control of your life, you have to be responsible of everything that you create in your life, good or bad, not just good, but even all the bad. You are the cause of your life right now. Once you start taking responsibility of it, you will start to realize how powerful you are. You can take control of your life and you can decide which way it will go because you say so. Not because the world is pushing you to have a miserable life. It's because you tell yourself what kind of life you're going to have. So just remember one thing. In order to create happiness, you do have to take control of your life. That is to be responsible of whatever happened in your life, good or bad. And then simply complaining or fear doesn't push you to move forward. It will only pull you back. So take action about it, removing all the fear you can. Okay, the big things. Your birth parent is always going to be your biggest problem. They are there for a reason. You do choose your parents before you become a person. You got to decide it. This set of parents can create who I am as a soul quickly so I can overcome the issue. So your parent is there in order to create, reshape, or build who you are as a soul, so you can overcome your obstacle or your problem. If you're scared right now and you're blaming on parents, you choose them for a good reason because your soul itself had that problem to begin with. So they need to quickly restore your original setting so you can work it. So many of you will have problem communicating with your parent, believing they would never understand. What I'm here to say is whether parent act tough or not tough, they do have a foundation that they want to help their kid to suffer less as much as possible. I'm not saying all parents are perfect. If you happen to have a wrong pair, which you don't think they do you any good, the help is always somewhere else. There are always people out there willing to help you. But I would say majority of parents is try to help you. So instead of not communicate with them, I would encourage you to try to make them understand. Don't point it out what other people are doing. Parents only care about their kids. They don't really care what other people are suffering. We only feel the pain when we see our kids suffer. So I would say communicate with them by sharing what it is like for you, what is going through you, and what it is like for you. And do have a ear open to listen what they have to say. Remember, they try to help you. If you feel like your belief kind of collapse one another and you don't know how to get your message across, you can start with this. Can you let me try? Give it a time frame. Don't just let me try forever. I understand you want the best for me, but can you let me try for this period of time? And then also open to try their suggestion or their way. Remember, it's 30-70. So you don't have to take 100% of whatever they suggest, but pick 30% of what they suggest, what you can do, and then try to find that balance that works for you too. Especially if you're in the small, you're very confused, you don't know what to do. How about try their way? Since you don't know where to begin anyway. Then let me try that way, and then I will be able to tell if it work or not work. If you have already tried their way and then you realize it didn't work, you communicate that as well. You will communicate what it was like for you, why it is not working for you. So remember, all the parents want the best for their kids. They're willing to listen. If they are not listening, they must have their fear in their way too. That's why they are not listening. So don't expect you communicate once and then they have to listen. Be patient with them because you know how hard it is for your parent to ask you to do something. They can remind you 1,000 times, you're still not doing it. So if you alone take that many reminder and that long a time not to do anything, why would you expect your parent to just boom? I mean, they live their life twice longer than you. So just be patient with them. Usually, as I say, set your expectation right. Give yourself at least 3 to 5 times to communicate one thing. If they got it, great. If they don't got it, expect that. But trust me, they will be happy that my kids finally willing to communicate with me. I would say most of parents would be happy. So anyway, I hope that give you guys enough idea to how you can kickstart your life. You guys are so young. Your future's lay ahead of you. You can make anything happen. Anything that you set your mind to change, usually you can see the result within 3 to 5 years thanks to the era of awareness. Things manifest so much faster than it was in the industrial era. So anyway, set your mind, set your goal, start taking action of it. Usually you will start seeing the result of it. So I hope that will give you guys a little bit idea. If you have any more questions, this is the last call.
I do have a question. People around me are doing more of what society requires, and I start to learn how to love myself and follow the spirit, and it makes me lonely and it makes me stand out in my family, and how to dealing with this situation, because you want to follow the spirit, but it made you alone.
You want to follow the spiritual path, but you feel lonely? Is that what your question is?
Yes.
Okay. Well, as I say, thanks to social media, you can always find similar people in a similar group, similar belief and all that. Your question kind of bring back to what I just shared earlier. If we're lucky, we find a parent who support us, but there are people who doesn't have that privilege, which I totally understand. But thanks to social media, where before we don't have a chance to reach out, nowadays we can. So if we don't have a support group within the arm reach, then we try to expand our community a bit further. That will help you better.
But it's a weak connection in social media.
Why would it be weak?
Because it can feel their emotion. It just look the word, and you can talk face to face.
Okay. If you don't want to do social media, I'm not pushing everybody to do social media, by the way. I'll be hated by all the parents. But there are a lot of local classes that you can take. There are some kind of sport classes, workout classes, or anything like that. I would say try to expose yourself to all those different kind of options, and then step out of your comfort zone, talking to people, meet people. If you are not comfortable with social media, then do overcome your own fear. Try to build a relationship with people, with other people. Do step out of your comfort zone and try to expose yourself to different possibilities. Then you are more likely to meet people of the same interest.
Okay, thank you.
How can one navigate moment of bad energy without letting it absorb you? The only way to navigate the moment of bad energy is simply release the bad energy. Most of people have problem letting it absorb is because when you are in the bad moment, you're telling yourself to talk out of it. Don't feel this way. I shouldn't feel this way. I should feel that way. And pity party actually work. Like you really honor your sorrow. You really honor I am miserable. So you would recruit friends who want to have a pity party with you, who want to cry, who want to do silly things. I would really make the most of it. But most of the time, people having problem with that is because they constantly have a belief how they should be, how they should act strong, how they should put on a smile, how they should act like everything is okay when everything is not, how they still care about what they look like, how they should present themselves, and things like that. That's where your emotion is really not getting a balance. So if you really want to navigate your life properly, then allow your emotion to flow the way it should be. But remember, if you have your vision board there, let me remind you, nothing about anybody else and nothing about material. Once you have the vision board there, that's who you want to be, then it will also work with you. If I want to be an elegant person and I want to celebrate my sadness, I would try to remember to cry a little bit elegantly. So it would kind of help you navigate a bit better.
I do have a question.
Yes.
I just want to first say thank you so much for everything. My question is, I've noticed that I have like a lot of problem with my own mother. Like instead of thinking of like, years over the years, like I would thought that I hate her and everything, blame on her. But actually I realized like now I realize that the person that I hate the most is myself. I feel like I was so weak. I was so young. I was so small. And then I turned out to be like, so back then I was really gentle with her and I did not say no. I couldn't say no. But now I turn into like such an evil person in front of her and also in my life.
And be evil. Do the evil laugh in front of your mother. No, seriously. I'm not even joking. Try that. Do the evil laugh in front of your mother. And when your mother asks, what are you doing? He's like, oh my God, my evil self just come out. You got to be okay with that part of you. Because if you're not okay, you will have worse time when you have quarter life crisis, when you find out you are your mother.
Yeah, that's the least thing I want to turn into.
Yes. Slowly release that evil part of you.
But how to open my heart? I think now like it's really
No, you
hard
cannot
for me
open
to,
your heart. Remember, your heart is kind of coated by this evil black tar. So you need to slowly share your evil tar to other people before you can open your heart.
Okay, so you're
Yeah.
saying that I need to face it first.
As I say, I really understand nobody liked this sentence that you pick your parents, but you pick your parents for a good reason. They are there to help you overcome certain tasks. Your soul might be not brave enough, so you are constantly having a parent who challenges you to speak up, to voice what you are afraid to say as a soul. As you grow older, you will start to see they are there for a good reason, not to destroy you as a soul, but more to challenging your boundary, to make you a stronger person, to bring out the bravery in you. They are there for a good reason. So you will realize as a soul, a lot of people come to me and say, I'm gentle. I don't like to confront my dad, or I don't want to voice things out, things like that. But trust me, what you don't want sometimes translate as I'm afraid to. I'm afraid to tell my dad what I want. I'm afraid to disappoint them. I'm afraid to do something. So stop pushing me. As a young age, you can say, I hate you. But what do you really hate? Sometimes being straightforward with your parent, it helps you to see it more clearly for yourself. You can start to see which part of you that you actually did not like and would like to make better of.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Before I make a decision to end a relationship, how should I confirm I have tried everything, or just simply ask myself, am I happy to be with this person now? Have I focusing on myself enough? I will say, if you have this question in your mind, instead of thinking if the person is the right person or not, it's better if you give yourself 6 months of time to live the life that you wanted. Imagine with or without this person. That is to say, when we marry someone, we tend to compromise ourselves without knowing we are compromising ourselves. Eventually, people will take it for granted that we don't know how to change that. So if you have that thought in your head, I would say for the next 6 months, live the way that you like it, as if you were single. Disregard what that person acts, say, or do. You live the way that you want it. Because you know, if you want to make a decision like this, you have to be the right mindset to make that decision. So if you live 6 months, this is who I am, and then I'm pretty happy with myself, and you simply don't fit in the picture, by that time you will be very clear. But now you could be simply emotional, you're upset because they did something or whatever, and then at the process you're still compromising yourself for them. So I would say you may not be in the right mindset to make that decision. So I give yourself some time to try to live the way that you want it. Then you can make that decision because you will have a clear mind.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
I have a bit difficulty about deciding my career path or deciding what kind of job I want to do.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like as a psychic, people might ask you like what kind of job suits me, or
yes,
does there exist some kind of job that I was born to do?
Yeah.
Because I know like some people would find an astrologer to see what kind of career that suits them, and they will get their answers. So I don't know, like from the point of view of a psychic, how would you suggest?
Well, I don't do
to
personal
find
reading, so I'm going to answer the question the best way possible that apply to everybody. Okay? So I would say you have a couple choice from here. The first one, you can start with whatever you're studying, and then you start with that. You might change your mind in 6 months. I would say 9 months to be safe. Try that job for 9 months. You can have a pretty good idea whether you like it or not. Then you can expand from there. The second option, you can start with what do you like to do? So you would be able to tell what you like to do simply by writing things down, like what do you normally do? If you're by yourself, what do you do? When you go on YouTube or TikTok, or you know what? Even better. If you're an Instagram user, just go to Instagram and then you go search and see what's the feed that happen mostly there. because it's based on algorithm, right? So it's telling you what did you spend the most time on. So that will give you an idea. If you let a lot of drawing, pick one, because any one of them is what you usually spend the most time on. You either like to watch people doing that or somebody have similar interests that you're doing. So I would say pick one thing from that. So that's your second option. The third option is, I'm going to bring a little bit back to religions. In Hinduism, there's a word called dharma, D-H-A-R-M-A, something like that. Dharma is something that you are born with, something you are good at. So dharma doesn't define good or bad. It's just something you're good at. So in Hinduism, they believe your dharma is, if you're good at singing, singing is your job to do. You're good at hurting people is your job to do. A mission or duty that your soul is meant to be. So if the first two that fail you, then I would try the third. What am I good at? If you cannot think of what you're good at, you can always bring back to your childhood. As the people around, your parents always know, hey, mom, what am I good at? What do you think that I'm good at? That may not be the true answer, but what do you think that I'm good at? They will usually give you some ideas. Start from that. Then again, let me remind you one more time. Nothing that you decide will be your forever future, but it will be a good starting point. You got to give it a try for 6 to 9 months. Then you will be able to tell if that is a thing for you. If you find out that's not a thing for you, then start asking yourself, how can I expand from here? If you're asking a psychic, I know where our future is heading. I know we are dealing with the demolition period of time now. That's why a lot of people feeling confused. Trust me, not just youth. If you ever have a conversation with adults, they are equally confused. They just afraid to show it to you. So what I'm saying is, this is a process of time that we will be exposed to a lot of things. We will be pushed to the edge where we forced to make decisions. But at the end of the day, we'll be forced to make decisions to figure out who we are, what we are, and where are we going. So to me, as a psychic, I am optimistic toward our future. I think it's great. A lot of things we can explore, a lot of things we can try, and it's going to bring us to a greater future where you guys will be happier. It's just at right now, luckily, with my irresponsible sense, you guys will suffer for another 5 or 6 years, but it's better than those people who suffer 30-something years. So if we can figure things out between 5 or 6 years, I think it's great. There's going to be a lot of things waiting for you guys, waiting to be explored and try out. So don't get so depressed right now and thinking there's no end for you. You are so planted so many help here to help you. Just because whatever within the arm reach didn't work out, that doesn't mean it's forever not working out. Anyway, I hope this seminar do give you guys a little bit idea. If you have any question, you're more than welcome to send me some question. Then if I have time, I will get to answer it all. So hope you guys enjoy. And then I will see you guys next time. Bye now.